Hey everybody, welcome to the Morley project.
I'm Cassie.
And I'm Jared.
And we want you to join us along the journey as we're building our new dream home.
So we've been asked a few times, why Harrington Grove, why this block, why now? We actually bought another piece of land in Harrington Grove. We even went through the whole design process, we went through the whole approval process. It put what was our dream home on the back burner and meant we had to sell that piece of land. We went for a drive and we saw this one, and it was one we had actually looked at sometime earlier in the piece, and it was one of the last four, but it was one of the first ones we looked at when there was 100 available, so it was sort of like a bit meant to be.
If we don't do it now, there's going to be no blocks left. So we just bit the bullet. I said to Jared, we're putting the deposit down, we'll worry about how we're going to finance it later. This is the right block, we've got to make this work somehow.
We've spent nearly a year in planning to get the design right and get it approved through the systems, the council. And
we were even nervous if we were going to get the basement to get approved.
Yeah.
And I remember going to Jared now, we've just designed this house. Oh my God, I've fallen in love with it. What are we going to do if we can't get this basement done? I can't imagine this house any other way now. We knew exactly what we wanted. We knew we wanted 5 bedrooms. We wanted so many bathrooms. We knew we wanted so many cars in the garage. A theatre room was a must. We don't go out on date nights. We don't go out for dinner. Our date night is, let's put a movie on Hey Babe at home and just chill with the puppies and enjoy.
When we were designing this house, we had owned a building company for a couple of years. We'd built quite a few different homes for different people, and we're seeing some cool themes and cool styles. It's actually quite different to that original house that we went on. Different. That one that we had approved and was ready to start on.
I think we also wanted to have a house different to every other house on the street. Everybody can do modern, everybody does Hamptons, but no one really does industrial.
We also fell in love with JMA's flair because we saw a house that they had designed and done for another couple that we know. And when that house was finished and we saw that house finished, we had to see that architect's work and we had to sit down with them.
How did you guys actually get all this onto this block? Because I still do not know how we've got it in.
It started from like the basement idea, like habitable spaces, which we have to get light, ventilation.
Naturally, I think the rooms that made sense to go with it were, like a theatre room could be kind of subterranean, like underground. The gym kind of made sense as well, and then instantly that took, square meters off the ground floor. And the dog was also a big thing from the beginning. And being a dog lover, that was always in my head, to make sure there was enough soft area for the dogs. You wanted that dog bath as well.
Dog bath and laundry.
In the laundry.
Everyone loves that dog bath.
That was important. So there were all these little things. As architects, we always try to appease to the clients, as many things as we can on the wish list.
Obviously there's a budget, and an off-form concrete is quite a luxurious finish, costly. So then I guess we've narrowed it down to key elements. The front it's quite present and dominant, and it's showcased, and then it's brought into the home in key areas.
How did you manage the budget in the end? That's what they do.
It was very entertaining. We won't talk about it, we do below. Jared's killing me later. No, but obviously during the time of building we had COVID. We had all these things that came into effect. Pricing went up. Some suppliers are 40% price increase. So these are things that we obviously, when we started the project, that we've never thought were going to happen, where we've had to pull back in certain areas and not been able to finish the house in other aspects that we're wanting to, but change it out. The one thing that we said, 100%, the concrete was one of those items that has to stay.
Yeah.
Staircase was having to stay.
Yeah.
We obviously wanted to have the beautiful metal balustrade.
Yeah.
Budget didn't allow for it, we've gone with the timber. It looks just as good. I think it looks just as good. So that's always areas that people have to consider when they're going through these challenges. Hey everybody, we're here at Beaumont Tiles. Today we're getting to do our final tile selections. I'm so excited. Jared and I have been in a few times throughout the coming weeks trying to finalise our tiles, and today we get to choose. So when we first came in, we fell in love with this tile. I want to show you what we picked when we came in a few weeks ago, and this was the foundation of what actually started our tiling selection. So we were going through all the different tile sizes. You can have 450 by 450, 600 by 600s. We ended up picking a 1200 by 600 floor tile. And this is the beauty. We cannot wait to see this tile in our house. We decided in the bathrooms we wanted to keep the same tile, just in a different size. So this is where the sizing of tiles is really important to consider, especially when you're thinking about grout lines and having all your lines line up. So this was the first tile we picked, and then we picked all the tiles around it. Jared found this beautiful mosaic tile that he fell in love with. So did I, and I was like, yeah, we have to definitely have this tile. So let's go try and see if we can find it again, because I really want to show you guys what we ended up finding that day when we came in. Ha, here it is. So this is the mosaic tile I was telling you about. We also had a crisscross one, but they don't seem to have it in stock for us to be able to show you. But this is what we ended up picking for our bathroom. So let's come put it all together, and we're going to put it into the computer. So really this gave us a real good visual tool of figuring out how our bathroom was actually going to look. Don't be afraid to play with different size tiles. As you can see, we have selected like a 300 by 600 tile, a 600 by 600 tile, and a 1200 by 600 tile. Just making sure that like the sizes work good in the spaces, we could get the grout lines to line up. But don't be afraid to play, it's always fun. Bathrooms and kitchens, they're part of designing the house and bringing the whole scheme and your vision to life. So have fun with it. So one thing that I've had to decide today was our grout colour. I've decided to go with the slate grey because I think that's a really nice colour. It complements really nicely between the darker tile and the lighter tile. And then for the mosaics, I've decided to go with like a nice black type colour, so it complements quite nice because I really wanted the mosaics to be the hero, not the grout. So grout is something is really important to consider. We at Edgecliff, we love to do colour matching of our grout as a standard. So it's something to always ask your builder, do you do colour match grout? What grout colours are included? Because it's an item that can sometimes get looked over. So don't forget to think about your grout.
With our selections, we designate a consultant to spend that 2-hour time with them. And we go through each room individually. We take into consideration obviously what they're looking for, the colours, the tones, the moods, and we help guide them into making great decisions to help build their dream home.
The scan and play technology is a really helpful tool during selections. Really helps to achieve and show what the client's bringing in from their inspiration and like different aspects of their other colour selections that they've done.
No, definitely.
Outside.
I loved playing with it, typing the codes in and putting it up on the walls. It was such a great visual tool, especially if somebody is struggling to see it come together. I find it's really good.
We do see that a lot. A lot of people come in and they have all this inspiration, colours, everything, and then like design consultants will sort of look at it and be like, maybe not for this room with the lighting or whatever aspect will contribute. And help putting that up on the screen in front of them helps them bring it all together and visualise it and see what it's going to look like in their home.
So I'm here today finalising the exterior selections for the Morley project, as well as a few internal finishes that I haven't finalised yet. So when we were sitting down with the architect finalising our plans, we wanted to have clad and brick and concrete as our main external features. There's different options for cladding. You have like James Hardie, you have WeatherTex. We've decided to go with WeatherTex for the Morley project. The massive reason why we chose WeatherTex is because we love the product. It's Australian owned, it's sustainable, and it's a wood-based product. You'll see in coming months, there's so many different profiles to choose from. We actually ended up going with the Weathergroove profile, which I can't wait to show you once we finally get out to site. But as you can see, there's all different sizes that you can choose from. So that's not just literally saying, I just want to pick a clad. It also comes down, what way do you want the clad to run? Do you want it to run horizontal? Do you want to run it vertical? How wide do you want it? There's so many things to think and you go, oh my gosh, I never thought about that.
Weathergroove is very, very easy to install, as you would have. Pop a panel up, no silicone needed, off-stud joiner gets popped on the groove at the end, and then the next panel goes in, gun nailed off. And given that it is an off-stud join, so you don't have to go around and check your frame to make sure, is it gonna land on a stud? And that saves so much time.
Definitely.
you know, you can get your house to lock up very, very quickly and then carry on with the rest of your build. Given that WeatherTex is, you know, manufactured for an external product, it can also be used internally, which you've done on other
Definitely.
projects.
We use a lot of internal feature walls done with WeatherTex. We use it in bathrooms, lots of different parts just to bring that indoor-outdoor feeling to keep it all together.
So when finalising the brick selections, Joe and I had a few things to consider. We wanted brick to be a massive hero in our house, especially on our facade, on the back of our house, and because we're bringing the brick inside as well, where we're wanting to like do it on the staircase, there was a lot of bricks that we had to look through and shift through and try and figure out which one was going to best suit the space. So I started looking. I had to look at Austral, I had to look at PGH, and I kept flicking through all the different collections and the ranges. There was grey bricks, there was brown bricks, which I was like, brown's not gonna really work, I don't think, for the style that we're wanting to. And then we came across the Marata by PGH, and we actually ended up finalising was the Neuro brick, which is a really nice black brick. It's colour through. But when we started looking at this brick, we also had to think about the cost because it is a bit more of an expensive brick compared to some out there.
Marata Neuro Satin is just one of those really stunning bricks that works with so many different styles. So the style of home that you've gone for is a mixture between luxury and industrial, and it's just sort of brought all of those elements together and creating that really nice indoor and outdoor sort of vibe that you've gone for, and it's really quite beautiful.
As soon as I pulled the brick, I fell in love with it. I was like, we had to have this brick, and then talking to you guys at CSI and PGH, it gave us a lot of confidence that it's a good quality product, it was going to suit the style, we weren't going to have any problems with deliveries, and I think it's a nice complement of that modern industrial feel to the house. The other thing that we have to finalise today is our roof colour. So we've decided to go with the Monument. We could have gone through a few different types of colours, but obviously modern industrial suited to more the darker tones. Roof is one of the big items that I normally start with when I'm doing my external colours, and then we work our way down. You go roof, if you're doing a double story, first floor, ground floor, and then down to your driveway and then your soft landscapings.
So now it's up to the internal finalising part. So with internal selections, we start from the bottom and work our way up. So I finalised everything with Beaumont tiles now. It's great. I've got my tiles all selected for my bathrooms and my main floor. Now I've got to start working up and finalising a few items such as my kitchen, tapware, appliances, and all the other things that come along with doing internal finishes. We use SmartStone here at Edgecliff. I love this product. It's got such a great colour range. It's been really hard to try and figure out which stone I'm wanting to choose, but my heart is really starting to go towards the SmartStone Absolute Blanc.
Absolute Blanc is our widest white in the range.
Yeah.
You cannot get a crisper white in the marketplace. I think it is so versatile. You can use it against a light scheme and dark scheme where you've used it here in this home. It's sleek and everything goes with it. So it doesn't, you can have it plain or, you know, put your vase on it or your plant on it. So yeah, it's really versatile.
And I think the thing that what I love about so much the SmartStone product is there is so many colours in those standard ranges or the few upgrade ranges that people can choose from without having to spend a lot of money.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of product available. We've got 5 different, you know, pricing categories that we offer to market.
Yeah.
And everybody's budget can absolutely work with a SmartStone product. You can get product that's got movement in it, so whether it's like a bit of a faint vein, which is really popular at the moment.
Yeah, the Da Vinci Blanco.
Yes, honestly, in the market at the moment, that is probably the most popular colour.
Yeah.
Again, because it's still got that really beautiful crisp white base.
Yeah.
And it's got really subtle movement because that's what people like. Yeah, it just adds something different, it really does.
No, and I think it's a nice breakup between the harshness of the black that we have, but then we also have the concrete. So for example, we've had numerous conversations about this. I really wanted a concrete island bench.
Yeah.
And you were trying to convince me to go something different for the back stone. And I'm like, no, I'm going white. I'm sticking with my white.
But it's worked so well.
It's worked so well, but we sat there, we went through all the ranges. There were so many colours to choose from. I think there was like 2 or 3 whites I was actually looking at, but I ended up landing on what we landed with.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And because it is the brightest white, so I think that you made an absolutely perfect choice.
With the joinery for the kitchen, what I'm thinking is I'm actually going to use Polytech melamine for pretty much all the joinery in the house. Polytech have heaps of different blacks to choose from, but my heart is really set with just the standard black wood mat. It looks fantastic. I think it's going to be a great colour scheme and really suits towards the modern industrial feel. And when I pair it next to the white Absolute Blanc stone, it's going to work really, really good. So I feel I'm pretty confident I can lock these few selections in.
So with the wood mat finish, it did take a good 5 years of lots of blood, sweat and tears.
Yeah.
And that we wanted to try to create a surface that even just by looking at it and then touching it, it just had this beautiful sensitivity to timber.
Yeah.
And it had all the wonderful properties that made it durable as well, and just enhanced any space. So it was something that we were very OCD about.
Yeah.
Because with a lot of surfaces, you sort of get this little opaquing as soon as you try to create an embossing of a timber grain.
Yeah.
But this one, using new technologies,
Yeah.
we were able to achieve it. A lot of back and forth, and then we finally nailed it, and here we are with wood mat.
I love the wood mat. It is probably one of my favourite products. I love it so much, hence the reason it's all the way through my house. I love to cook. And when it came to the kitchen, Jared is not getting a say in this area, unfortunately. So I love Westinghouse. I've used Westinghouse numerous times in clients' homes, in one of my old homes that I used to live in, and I just love the brand. I think it's a good product. They also have this new product called the dark stainless steel, which I think is going to suit the Morley project perfectly. So we're going to go with 2 900 dark stainless steel ovens, a 90 centimetre gas cooktop. In the butler's pantry, I'm going to do a 60 centimetre gas cooktop as well as an oven as well to match. But the one thing that we did have a little bits of arguments over the last couple of days is I wanted to have a canopy range hood so you could see the canopy, make it feel more like a chef's kitchen, and Jared wanted to have it undermount. He won that argument. I won't let him know that. But we're going to go with an undermount to keep a real sleek look to the kitchen. We've also gone with a pyrolytic oven that I've selected there, which means it's like a self-cleaning oven. So if anybody's sort of into cooking, like there's so many different things you can look at with an oven, so many different brands. It just comes down to your budget, your price point, what you're sort of after. You can have an oven that self-cleans, you can have an oven that steams. You can just have a normal oven as well. You can't really go wrong with any of them, but Westinghouse is one of my favorite brands. We always say you always got to have a good team around you to get the good result.
Yeah, you got to build your A team, and then around that, you've got to rely on your team's expertise, what they're good at. I mean, you know, for all of our design intensive purposes, we took our engineers with us, we took our stylists with us, we took our builder Nathan with us, we took interior decorators with us to different meetings. Like we relied heavily on their professions and their
just to bounce ideas off them. Like we had our vision of what we wanted. It was just trying to achieve
also
that
confirmation.
Yeah.
Our suggestions getting confirmed and saying, you hit that one on the nail, like you hit that nail on the head. That's, you know, that works. Those colours work. That style works. Yes, structurally that works, and yes, if buildability works. So the team is the success. So at the end of the day, we have a success because we relied on our team and listened to our team.
Yeah. A little bit of problem on site. Naif's just on the phone to the surveyor. We've started!
Today we've got all the piers going in, so all the piers are in now. We anticipate about 80 cubes of concrete for this deck today. Once we get to this afternoon, I'll let you know where we end up.